Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Drop Zone. Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guy, here with a live nightly recap of everything that we're seeing at the 2025 United States Disc Golf Championship, as well as the Throw Pink Women's Disc Golf Championship. I'm out here on site. I am literally just a putter throw away, even for me, to the fairway of hole number 18 directly behind me. In fact, we've had broadcasts take place from up here on the patio of the shack. That's where I'm located. Off in a distance, you're hearing a little bit of the concert series that is taking place. Maybe that's bleeding through, but super excited to be here tonight to give you some updates of what's been going on here for Saturday. It was moving day, the day before Championship Sunday, as we're here for Throw Pink as well as United States Disc Golf Championship. Hopefully you guys can go out there and share it. In fact, I've got it all queued up. I'm gonna hit share myself on one of the socials so that we can get more people to come in and join us. I know it's kind of early out on the West Coast, and if I'm being honest, Cubs Brewers are playing tonight. I live just outside of Milwaukee, but somehow I'm a Cubs fan. I know none of that makes sense, but I am also excited for that game tonight as it's going to game number 5. Spoiler alert, they're playing the series 5 games. Anyway, so we'll see how that goes. But welcome in, everyone. JT Disc Golf says, Terry, my guy. And Eddie says, I wonder if Terry, I don't know, ENF, I don't know what that means, but enforces? Yeah, I'm an enforcer or something like that. Tonight, I'm going to recap some of the scores, obviously, that took place. You guys saw more golf than I did. Maybe you can even enlighten me on a few of the things, but I'm going to recap some of the scores, talk about what we're going to see tomorrow for Championship Sunday, and then recap a little of my experience out here as I was on the bag for Nate Doss, as many of you know, throughout the week. So it's been a lot of fun. Some other things that I have in the queue that we're going to be able to talk about. We're going to get a direct update from Phil Delone of the PDGA. Weather is a concern. It's a conversation that's taking place out here. So I caught up with him just before he left for the night to see what he had to say and what we can look for tomorrow. Also, the Caddy Chronicles will keep moving. I check in, of course, with Zack Melton yet again. And what do you know, Kelvin Heimberg, spoiler alert, is going to be on the lead card tomorrow. So crucial that we get the Caddy update from none other than Zack Melton. I also check in with George Sappenfield of the World Disc Golf Hall of Fame. It was a pleasure to talk to him just a little bit and see what he's got going on. Ben Kenny of over at the Disc Golf Expos, Disc East and Disc South. I get a little update from him. And yeah, just looking forward to all of those updates along with some of the scores, the stats, some of the other details and things going on. And we'll see. We may or may not, I'm begging her, might even get a visit from Sarah Nicholson, the founder of Throw Pink. She said if she can make it over here in time that we can check in with her. Yes, we can talk about the Throw Pink scores, but there's so much more to it than the event that's going on. So hopefully we can get Sarah to possibly stop by. She's got an open invite and she might be in the area. All right, with that, I'm going to get right to the Throw Pink side of things. The competition that takes place every single morning here. And although I haven't been able to consume a ton of it myself, what I can look at when I pull up the scores is seeing that we're having a great battle. And really, I don't know if there's any surprises from what we saw in round 2 into what we're seeing for round 3. When I click on round 2 scores and seeing our competitors, Annalie Tulgas Manistee is off to a really good weekend, just as she started a few weeks ago. And then today, it looks like she just kind of kept that train rolling. In round 2, she shot a 1, let's go back actually. Round 1, she shot a 5 under. Round 2, she shot a 1 under. And then today in round 3, she combines those two scores to, 5 and 1, sorry, that's a 6. Shoots better than those two combined, shoots a 7 under. And looks like it was a pretty clean scorecard throughout. The only time she was tripped up was on hole number 11, where she took the bogey. Otherwise, a really solid overall performance for her. She jumps, she stays out in front, I should say, with that 7 under effort. And at one point she birdied everything from 12 through 16, giving her 5 birdies in a row. Missy Gannon clearly having a day in that she shot 10 under on today's round, and that brings her very much back into the conversation. Not that she was out of it, but brings her back into the conversation for making this charge. And when it was all said and done, she would put together an incredible incredible birdie streak, birdieing everything from hole 6 through 15. And you want to talk, we often talk about this thing called your bounce back statistic, which is after taking a bogey or a double bogey or worse, what do you do on the next hole? And if you take a birdie, we consider that a bounce back on the very next hole. She bounced back at a likes that we've never seen before in terms of then putting together a ton of birdies. Very impressive what she did. You're seeing it was with some just really solid putting, and then the 45-footer, which was her only C2 connection of the day. She had the 45-footer on hole number 7, but otherwise everything else was inside the circle, and very impressive. What was that, 10 in a row? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, yeah, that's one way to do it. 10 in a row for the 10 under, that makes sense, as she had the one other bogey and birdie on the day. So incredibly impressive, awesome to see. Missy Gannon, who's won here before, would get tripped up on hole 18, finish with the bogey there, but 2 bogey day, and that included the 11 for 13 C1X putting. So Missy Gannon, dare I say, clearly wins the streak contest that we've been talking about on both the morning and afternoon rounds. Missy Gannon getting 10 in a row. Silva Sarnen also having a really solid day. Probably felt maybe a little overshadowed in that Missy had all of those birdies together in a row, but Silva ended up getting 5 out of her first 6. Then later would get a 3-pack and then would ultimately finish strong. And this is something that jumps out at me. Not seeing any of the actual footage, just knowing how much Silva was tripped up in the last few days. If we go to round 1 for Silva, she went bogey birdie to finish on 17 and 18. So essentially went like 2 under in the last 6 holes. Yesterday is when she struggled mightily, and in the last 6 holes, she went 3 over and only had the 1 birdie and then a quadruple bogey on the 15th, but then went par to finish. Today, so much better when you're looking at what she did. Not only did she keep it all clean on the back 9, but she ultimately went 3 under when you look at her going from 14 through 18. So why is that important? That's because I think about the confidence and what you're going to do to close out the tournament when it's all on the line on Championship Sunday. What was your feels? How did you play it? We're going to see a couple different pins, but how did you play it most recently? And maybe that's just me overanalyzing, but I go all the way back to Sarah talking about not having it, or me talking about Sarah not having hole 17 specifically figured out during her practice rounds. We heard that from someone that was kind of passing through, and she just audibly and visibly was frustrated with not getting her practice round all figured out. And 17 is such a crucial hole, as is 18. There's so much danger on those holes. So to see that today, she, at least for today's round, got it all figured out and finished strong, very impressive. Paige Pierce, who we know had a really solid round yesterday and made a big charge. She ultimately had a ton of birdies yesterday and then got tripped up as it went on. But she had the 4 under yesterday. Today, she would have 3 under. Again, birdies and an eagle, not the problem for Pierce. It's just a matter of keeping things cleaned up. When we scroll down, we saw that she had 2 hazards, had the OB on 6, but the 2 hazards. 1 for 11 from C2 putting. The fact that she had 11 C2 looks isn't probably the best today in the first place. Like, she hit a lot of fairways, just wasn't looking good from in terms of getting into C1 in regulation. Had a lot of the C2 looks. Sophia has been making a charge. taking a look at what she did, taking a look at what she did in round one. She struggled in round one. Round two, she moved up 14 spots, and today in round three, moved up another 3 spots to get into that tie for 7th. And then rounding out our chase card will be Evelyn Salonen. Just kind of a little bit of a roller coaster day, a little bit back and forth as well. How did Owen Scoggins bounce back today? It looks like she had a ton of birdies. When it was all said and done, looks like she had 8 birdies on her round, but would only finish at even. Tripped up yet again by holes 17 and 18. She had 4 consecutive birdies leading into the final 2 holes and got tripped up for a double bogey and a bogey. And then when you look at what she did in round number 2, I feel like, just if memory serves me right, in round number 2, okay, no, she did not. She got tripped up on 15 and 16 and actually finished really strong on 17 and 18. And in round 1, there's an easier way to do this, so I apologize if I'm jumping around. I just realized that I could be doing this in a much smarter way. In round 1, Owen went par bogey on 17 and 18. So 2 out of 3 days she's gotten it figured out, but the other round not so much. So what does this mean? I mean, clearly you have to ask, can Anneli Tulgas Maniste hold on? This would certainly be the largest win of her career, taking down this event. When we look and I dial down a little bit more, 956 rated, 132 events. She has 22 wins. When we click on her wins category, we see A tiers, the Baltic Championship earlier this year in 2025, and then a silver event, the Belgian Open in 2024. 2 great A tiers, taking home $505 and $939 as 2 of her larger paychecks. But this would be certainly her biggest event, her biggest win to date if she could take this down. She's got a lot of C tiers, number of B tiers. This could be her biggest win of her career. Of course, ATM, as we've now dubbed her, coming out of Estonia. I'm going to take a quick look and see. We do have a projected payout. And for those of you that may not know this, in theory, I believe the rule still stands that you should always have the payout posted before the beginning of the final round of an event. I'm pretty sure that's still a PDGA rule. I'm going to take a look at projected payout right now. $15,000 for first place. So when you look at her wins of $939 and 500 plus, to say that this win and the paycheck that would go along with it would be substantial is an understatement. And then look at the massive drop to second place to $8,000, $5,000 for third, $4,000 for fourth. So insane money. As I scroll down, I can even take a look. $57,000 is the payout, $17,000 added to the $17,000 was the entry fees, $39,000, just short of $40,000. Throw in another $60, making it even $40,000. $40,000 added to this payout. Some sweet trophies from Mace Man, I've got to assume, and when it's all said and done, 430% event entry fee payout. Insane. So, 15 grand for first, 8,000 for second, 5,000 for third, and 4,000. Who's going to be getting that money? That's a good question. But at 8:50 a.m., they're going to be teeing off, and that's when you're going to see it as I'm kind of bouncing around for it. Looking at our rounds tomorrow, just to kind of give you those official cards. ATM in first right now by a single stroke. She sits at 13 under, Missy Gannon at 12, Silva tied with Missy at 12 under, and then a massive fall off to fourth place and beyond, which is Paige Pierce. She'll be on that lead card. She's sitting at 2 back. So what did I just say? 15,000, 8,000, and 5,000. It's gonna be a lot of money handed out in those top 3 spots. You have to assume our winner is gonna be one of those 3, and you feel like the podium should also go to those 3, but We've seen some massive comebacks just going back a few weeks ago where Missy Gannon struggled to hold on to the GMC lead, but then she came back, overcame Holland Hanley the next weekend at the MVP and overtook her when Holland had a lead. So no lead is safe on this course. The conditions clearly are going to be a factor. The wind's going to be up. All of that's going to play into it, but no lead is safe, and I'm excited to see how it's going to shake out. Chase card, Hannah Wynn, Cadence Burge, Sophia Dunica, and Evelina Salonen, as I mentioned a little bit earlier. Just one quick point. Cadence Burge, who won earlier, had a quick chat with her dad earlier, who said he didn't necessarily have a chance to talk with her, but some of the things that he told me in looking at her stats and then having a conversation is that definitely Cadence playing a little smarter than she did last year, which is great to see. And he's excited to see what she can do if there's inclement weather. She seems to be a very driven and focused and doesn't show a lot of emotion, and maybe that will all come into play when trying to maintain focus if bad weather comes about tomorrow. And then I agree with him when he talks about Annalie. If she can maintain the nerves and the pressure of this massive win, only a one-stroke advantage, which we clearly know is nothing here, can she maintain, especially when she has some proven winners that have done it many times, Big Money Missy, along with Silva Sarnen, who's come on so strong in these last couple of years. So it should be really interesting. I'm excited to see, just as her dad, Larry Burge, Cadence's dad, had said to me. So I'm excited. It's funny how I amped up just thinking about it and what's going to happen tomorrow. So with that, I think this is a good time before I get into the MPO side of things and what we might see. I think this is a really good time that we check in with weather, the conditions, the conversations that are taking place. I know that the PDGA has lots of things on their mind, and there's always a contingency plan. And then you're talking about just all the other parties that are here at play. You're talking about the Disc Golf Network and DGN. You're talking about thousands potentially spectators that are out here, hundreds of volunteers, other staff members, all of the players that are on site. There's a lot of moving parts when it comes to contingency plans and weather and what needs to be done and what needs to be considered. Obviously, player safety is always first and foremost the conversation, and we know that when we've seen things like tropical storms possibly roll through, and or even the year that this was cut short and Jeremy Colling went on to win the USDGC a few years ago, not only tropical storms, hurricane season, all that other stuff, all of that is a consideration here at this event. And this year, as blessed as we've been with just chilly weather and high winds, we have to be concerned about possible rain and thunderstorms. So I catch up with the PDGA's own Phil Delone. He's got some insight, so let's hear what he had to say. Catching up, Phil Delone. How you doing?
Good, Terry. How are you? He's giggly.
In all seriousness, looking ahead, Championship Sunday. It's Saturday night right now as everyone's watching this recap video. What is kind of the outlook? I'll start there. Outlook. Before we go to contingency plan, what's the outlook for tomorrow on the weather?
Yeah, outlook for tomorrow on the weather. There's going to be 40% chance of rain, some fog late in the day. It's going to be wet conditions. The wind is going to pick up from 16 to 18 miles per hour consistent with 31 to 2 gusts. So it's going to be breezy out there for the athletes, and it's going to be interesting.
Any threat of then thunderstorms, lightning, things that are ultimately going to affect the play in that sense, or suspend the play?
we had some rain. There's a coastal storm, a nor'eastern coming from the east coast that's on the coast right now. It should be pretty fine though. It's coming in. There should be about a ½ inch of rain, maybe a little bit more. We're ready on the ground. What we've done for contingency, since we have a cut, we are now going to 44 men plus ties, 22 women plus ties. So what we're doing is just kind of bumping everything up with the freedom that we have. So not kind of being proactive, using that time as a gap, allowing ourselves to like not let deteriorating conditions happen. So instead of teeing off lead cards at 9:30 and 9:50, the first tees is going to be 8:30 and 8:50 for the women, followed by the men teeing off at 2 o'clock and 2:20. That'll allow us to get championship moments done, everything. Today it's 6:40 right now. It's getting dark. Tomorrow we'll be finishing around 12:25, 12:35 for FPO and about 5:35 to 5:45 for MPO. And we'll have enough light. If we have any delay, slower round times, people drying off disc, we'll be able to kind of get through that.
So the long and short of it is they've
That's
thought
it.
of it, right? They've thought of it. And that's what I really want to drive home. Of course, a long meeting that just took place minutes ago for you guys to talk about what needs to unfold, how you're going to handle it, what might be coming. Some people sit around and think, why didn't they plan for this? You guys have planned for it.
Yeah.
We'll just see what Mother Nature brings, and then we'll deal with it from there. Our last major of the year. Phil, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Terry.
Best of luck. Tomorrow we crown another major champion at the USDGC, and of course an A-tier champion over at the Throw Pink Women's Disc Golf Championships. All thanks to the PDJ and the major. Let's get back to the action. Thank you so much to Phil for giving us the insight. Again, it is a conversation piece, and I'm really happy that rather than me postulating or speculating or making up some potential stories or whatever the case might be, super great to be able to catch up with Phil and the rest of the team. They literally had a meeting of 8 or 10 different people. They're talking about weather, they're talking about the media plan. There's a lot of different moving parts, especially when it comes to the championship moments here on Sunday. So super excited. And even I was looking at my watch just a little while ago. I know Phil talked about the time, but looking at my watch as to when it's going to officially be dark. This event this year, and maybe even last year, feels like we started a little later. It always kind of used to be those like 4th, 5th, 6th of October. And in the last few years, I feel like we've pushed it back a week. And so obviously daylight is that much more of a concern. And then when you're talking about cloudy overcast conditions, I think we're losing some of that potential sunshine. So it will be happening right here though. We've seen fireworks, we've seen throw-offs in terms of trying to get over the lake, all that stuff, all of the celebration that takes place here will happen tomorrow. Real quick, there likely will not be a live recap show. And if it is, it's going to be a lot more laid back because myself and Dave from the Dyers Guild are going to be pretty much cutting out of here as soon as the tournament is done. And we're going to stay as late as we can, but that's probably not going to be enough time still for us to have an after show. We're heading the 30 minutes north up to Charlotte, trying to catch flights that get us still back to the Milwaukee area at some point late tomorrow night. So I just want to give the warning now. I haven't mentioned that. Maybe I'll go live from the airport for a few minutes or something and do my best, but that's only if we actually have the time to make it happen. And hopefully I'm returning to the Midwest where the Cubs have then defeated the Brewers. Did it start? Did it start? Anybody got an update? Maybe put it in the chat for me as I'm looking for the Cubs to take down the Brewers tonight in that 5th game. All right, what we're going to move over to is, of course, the USDGC side of things. It's been a heck of a run and a really good week and a lot of fun for me as I was able to make my caddying debut and, more importantly, to see the return of Nate Doss on the course. And I'll just say it, we came up short. And I caught myself, more than one person today said, what's this we talk? Clearly I'm not out there throwing any discs around, but I'm emotionally invested, as much as I feel like I probably could be, to being on the bag for Nate and to watch him battle. You're battling the elements, you're battling the idea that you don't play daily or weekly or even monthly. And for him to come back out here to give this a run, to try and make the cut, to try and give a championship bid, he came up short today. We came up short today. I'm going to scroll down and take a look. It really, unfortunately, was the worst of his 3 days. And he said he felt like the mental aspect of it caught up with him more than anything. He was right on the cut line coming into today. He was just one stroke below the cut line. He was sitting at 2 over, excuse me, 1 over, 2 over, and he really needed to shoot like 1 or 2 under, maybe even 2 or 3 under, excuse me, on the day. And it just simply didn't happen. And as I'm scrolling, we can see that Nate Doss, when it was all said and done today, Nate Doss falls out of the cut line. Drew Gibson made a really funny comment as we were on the card, along with Ryan Mon, Drew Gibson, and Paul Kranz. Paul was thinking about going for a putt on the final hole, and Drew's like, it doesn't matter, whether you finish 66 or 86. And Paul ran at the putt. Spoiler alert, he missed. And at a certain point, yeah, I don't want to say you're giving up, but if you're missing the cut, you're missing the cut. And you're not trying to throw away strokes, but maybe you go for a putt just for fun at that point. Unfortunately, Nate just couldn't finish it out. And today struggled, and it kind of got off on the wrong foot. Hole number 1, he didn't miss the Mando. He hit the Mando sign and the tree squarely, which kicked him hard left. That means you're laying up, and the best possible score at that point from where he was a 4. That's what we got. Didn't get any of the birdies in the first few holes. Had a good par on 5, which you're not really too mad about. And then hole 6, he just took a triple bogey, and that's because he was trying to overcorrect after going OB right both rounds and having it go 2 straight. He kind of overcorrected. We went OB left, went to the drop zone, and unlike yesterday, he didn't make the putt. In fact, went out of bounds, kind of like what Ricky did, I guess. Then didn't make the putt again from the drop zone. Ultimately walked away with a triple bogey. That was heartbreaking. There was still hope. There really was, but then couldn't get the birdie on 7 and out of position on 8. And when he came up short on 9, that felt like the nail in the coffin. Came up short, went out of bounds on 9. Ultimately takes a bogey there. That feels like you got to get that birdie today in that shorter pin position, like it was yesterday. And then 10, he got all 3 rounds. If there's a silver lining, he played it safe, got the birdie all 3 rounds on 10. But then 11, which I'm going to say is my second least favorite hole on the course. It's just so tough. And I think there's a lot of players out here that would tell you, hole 11, the drive is tough, the approach is tough, the putt can be brutal if you get a roll away. Tripped up on 11, hole 12 really was right there for the par, didn't make the par putt, didn't make the comebacker. His par putt was 26 feet, then misses it, doesn't make the 30-foot comebacker because you're down the hill, and then taps in, and that was a double bogey, and that was officially the nail in the coffin. And it was brutal. It was really disappointing for Nate. But he's so real in that this isn't his life. This isn't his career. He came off the couch, again, figuratively. He did put in a good month of practice, but even then, as much as he gave it his all, it just isn't enough when you're talking about sometimes coming out and hanging with the world's best. And that's a testament to how good our players are and how difficult this course is. His first round was a 1 under, rated 1035. And couldn't quite duplicate it in rounds 2 and 3, and ultimately not able to make it happen. So some of the short putts got to him. When it was all said and done, my caddying debut has come to an end now. If you want to blame me, I'm okay with that. I'm happy to fall on that sword. He unfortunately played more to my skill level than to his own and what he's capable of. But it was a lot of fun. It was some really cherished moments with a good friend and a guy who's a champion at heart, a guy who's won this event before in 2008, a guy who's won 3 world titles. And there's only a couple people in the world that can say they have the accolades that Nate Doss has. So he's also now, I think, 6-time Brewer of the Year over in Bend. And now he's a father and an incredible husband. So I'm super proud of him, super honored that I got the chance to be out here, to come out and to caddy, to be on these very special grounds in a brand new role that I've never had before. So as much as it's heartbreaking that I won't be putting on that caddy bib tomorrow to play alongside him or to walk alongside him, I am super proud of him and super happy that he made this a go. And I don't know how much golf Nate Doss has in his career in terms of where he wants to be. Playing disc golf is not a priority. He loves the media side, but playing is not a priority to him or to Val right now. And I know that's heartbreaking for the big fans that are out there. So if or when we see Nate, I'm not sure, but super excited that I had these moments to share with him out here, and to see the likes of Derek Hastings, who's been around and documented some of his career and journey. 10, 12, 15 years ago, Derek Hastings showed up on site today as well with a really nice camera and captured some moments as well. So I wish the best for Derek, who's an Emmy award-winning filmer and has a lot of Nate Doss history in his camera and on his hard drives, and hope we see some of that in the future. So thank you to Nate. Thank you to Val and his son Luca for allowing him to come out and share in these moments on this very special property where Nate was champion back in 2008. So it was awesome. Enough of that. That's my version, so to speak, of being a caddy. I'll have memories that I'll cherish literally forever of being here and wearing that caddy bib. So I know that's a part of my career. Someone who has been caddying for longer than I have, and who's been apparently doing it much better than I have, because he has managed to caddy his player into a lead card spot. We're talking about Zack Melton. I'm talking about day 3 of the Caddy Chronicles. I checked in with Zack Melton after the round. Here's what he had to tell us. Day 3, Caddy Chronicles with the pro. I mean, the fully decked out, fully dedicated pro. Clearly, I've got game to learn from Zack Melton. Zack, give us the caddy update with your boy Calvin today.
Yeah, okay, so another interesting round. He was 3 down through 7. Good start, like solid. Like he's 2 through 4, kind of, I don't know. Holes are hard at hitter birdie. It's okay. And then hole 8 had a lot of trouble. Early tree, laid up to the landing zone for par. Caught a tree, kicked up B, takes a double. Pretty frustrated. You know, hole 9's a very tough birdie where they changed it, moved the tee pad back. Gets a long look, kind of got iced, and then misses on a cage. He's upset, and then I don't know what it is about hole 10, but he eagled it again. Done it 3 days in a row. It's like it jumpstarts his round, and I think he plays the back 9 better than anybody, and he ended up shooting like 8 down.
Okay.
So he was 1 down through 9, and then just caught fire. Like I thought he was going to birdie the whole back.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So impressive work out there. I've got to go a little off course here.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just the play. How well do you know your player? So first question is his favorite ice cream.
I'm gonna say it's definitely cookies and cream, and mine is chocolate, and he will make fun of anyone who says chocolate because he immediately says it doesn't actually taste like chocolate.
Oh, I was
Chocolate
gonna say
ice
'cause
cream
it's
doesn't
boring.
taste like chocolate. No, and then he tried to ruin it for him. I'm like, I don't care, bro. I still love it. But yeah, his is cookies and cream.
Cookies and cream.
Yeah.
All right. Then let's go to his favorite rock, or type of rock. Not the
do you mean the
disc.
mid-range?
No, not the mid range.
Sorry.
His favorite, earthen rock.
Man, this is crazy because you put me on the spot, and I can see it. I can think of agate. He loves agates. He loves going like pretty much any kind. You know, like he'll come back with his hands filthy, right? You put a little water on it, you can see the lines pop out, but he definitely goes out looking for agates, I think, the most.
All right. As long as I've known him, I've yet to see him with a significant other. When's that going to change?
Yeah, see, I'm married, so I'm taken.
Yeah, okay.
You know,
so you're ruled out for now.
I'm ruled out for now.
For now,
yeah.
you're ruled out.
Heather,
How about?
Never, but
Okay,
no, yeah.
okay.
Hard telling, man. I don't know. You know,
where is he
maybe-
going to find
maybe-
love? That's my question. Where does Kelvin Heimberg find love? That I've actually thought about this before for him.
Yeah.
I want to know, and it's a good question for a lot of
All right.
golfers, but him specifically.
Maybe-
Where is he going to find love?
Maybe I shouldn't throw this out there, but he seems very popular with the middle-aged ladies.
Okay.
Maybe he's just, once he's done with disc golf, he's going to retire. He's just going to find a sugar mama, a little cougar, and settle down with her. Could happen, I mean,
Okay.
yeah. The moms love him. The moms
do.
love Calvin. They do.
When they come up to them, do they give him hugs?
I think they want to, you know. Like,
Okay, like
yeah,
this.
Yeah, like this.
All right. Anything else we need to know about Kelvin today before we let you go?
Today, you know, had a bump in the road, but I think tomorrow's going to be special. It's going to be hot. 6th lead car tomorrow.
What is
Sick lead
his?
car.
What are his chances? That's the final question. His chances to take this down. What do you give him out of 100%?
I mean, the chance to win, I think it's at least 50. I think it's. I mean,
Okay.
he's got a shot. If he can get off to a good start on the front, I think he plays the back nine better than anyone. So, if he
All
starts out clean, I think he's got a shot for real.
Kelvin Heimberg might be hunting Cougars and Birdies final round championship
Oh my
Sunday.
God.
Caddy Chronicles. Let's get back to it. If Zach was here, I think we'd have a hard time shutting down the stream at any point here tonight. I do seriously appreciate Zach catching up with me every day and giving us some additional insights. What I want to do quickly before we talk lead card and some of the action from today, real quick, just shout out to those that made it just barely. A few people made it into your cut line. I'm looking at the likes of Matt Oram, Sullivan Tipton, Timu, Anthony Anselmo, who I haven't seen in a little while. So good to see Anthony doing work. Lenny, Jesse, Yakub. Congratulations, all of them. Yakub just barely. Wow, and looking at his score, he was pretty close. Now, cash line, they're saying is top 43, and today it was top 40%, which was 43 plus ties, or 43rd plus ties. So what that's telling me is Sullivan Tipton's tied for 36. That means Timo is in 42nd. 43rd in theory. So there's 45 competitors. Unless there's crazy ties, that means upwards of 3 people at max. 3 people may not get paid out at all tomorrow. So keep an eye on that cash line. There's a cut line to today to the cashing spots. However, if they're only paying 43 and we've got what, 40, 46, 43, 44, 45, 46, what? 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. Yeah, 46. So 3 people may not get paid. Now, maybe they all tie for the last couple spots and the math works out, but there's a possibility they don't get anything. Real quick, before also then, while we're on it, I'm going to scroll up and take a look at our projected payout. You can click here. That should then bring us to here. And this is the first time I'm seeing it. $25K. $25,000 for first place tomorrow, and a major. Most manufacturers, and don't quote me on this, I would think on the low end, most of your main manufacturers probably offer you about a $5,000 bonus. Could be upwards of 10, 20, 30, I don't know, but probably at least a $5,000 bonus for winning a major. So, $25K in your pocket, you get the big check. Then probably at least another $5K, at least. And then probably some commemorative discs. I don't know how that works out in your contract. Depends on who you are and where you got your bonus structure. But probably looking at least, effectively, minimum a $30,000, payout for you tomorrow. Yeah, not too shabby. For a weekend's worth of work, a lifetime worth of effort and practice, but a weekend's worth of work. 15 grand for second, 12 grand for third, and rounding out the top 4, 9,000 for fourth. So paying all the way down, like I said, to 43rd place, $850, 44th place tomorrow, $0. That's how that works. $25,000 for first. We've talked about it for years, thinking you could have a putt, you could have a penalty, you could have a OB stroke, all that could cost upwards of 10 grand or more tomorrow on a single given scenario. Let's look at our lead card for tomorrow. Anthony Barella is a 2-stroke lead. Very impressive effort out there. Kind of just battling through, actually. I'll look at a better way to look at that. Yeah, shoots the 8 under. Hot round, mind you, only 9 under on the day. And I don't want to say only like that's not a great score, but 9 unders were hot. Those were shot by Andrew Marweed, Gannon Burr, Austin Turner. And then Anthony Barella and Kelvin Heimberg both shot 8. So round 2, our hot round was, of course, Wysocki's 13 with then a pair of 10s. And round 1, Macbeth had the bogey-free 10 under. So surprised or not, or maybe that just tells you at home a little bit more about the conditions to see that 10 was the first day, 13 second day, along with a couple 10s, and then third day hot round was 9 under, shot by 3 gentlemen and then a pair of 8s. So that should tell you something about the conditions. I mean, Macbeth shooting a 3 under today, sprinkling in more bogeys and over par strokes than he had in the first 2 rounds combined, but ultimately shoots the 3 under. Wysocki, who had a very, very, I don't want to call it very slow. I mean, almost not quite abysmal, somewhere between abysmal and slow start today. Struggling, missing the Mando on 4, and then having the putting struggles on the 6th, similar to what I experienced with Nate Doss, and then clearly lighting it up in the back to finally get things going. You see where he went essentially every other hole. You know what this tells you, and it's not just about the official streak, thanks to our friends at Climo Disc, but what this tells you is you can see people can string things together. People can go out there. You look at an Antela getting on a 5 for 6 streak, Austin Turner ultimately 5 in a row. Isaac Robinson turning things on a little bit today. He was 7 under in the first 2 rounds, then shoots a 7 under just today, clearly figuring things out, only having the real challenge on hole 17, but putting together 5 birdies in 6 holes. He's scrolling, even somebody that struggled a little to close out, Adam Hammis, ultimately having 6 birdies in 7 holes. So there's pockets and stretches out there that players can be doing that. It's just how do you finish out more so 17 and 18 being usually the trouble spots. Not as much 16, but 17 and 18 being some of those trouble spots. Andrew Marweed, when it was all said and done, had 6 birdies in a row in the middle stretch, getting 6 through 10. And then Barella 4 through 10 and only missing hole number 6, where he had 6 birdies and then later put together a 4-pack with then the bogey on the 18th. So the streak, is there a question? Ken Climo Disc giving us the streak along with the 5-time glow that's been released. I'm going to be handing those out come next week when I figure it all out, how we're going to hand those, give those away. Andrew Marweed, I'm seeing 6 in a row. Did anybody have more than 6 in a row? I feel if I scroll down, that's going to be a little less likely. Although Ben Calloway had a 4-pack, then later had a 4-pack, so that's pretty impressive. But as I'm scrolling, does the official streak for the Ken Climo Disc, is that owned by none other than Andrew Marweed? You guys feel like I should figure this out before the podcast, but I don't. That's all fun. You guys learn with me, right? I-246 by Marweed. I don't see any better than that. 4, including the eagle. That doesn't quite count. We're not doing any multipliers. We don't do math on the air. Yeah, Andrew Marweed, congrats. Officially deemed our streak of the day on the MPO side. So again, thanks to Climo Disc, I'll be giving away a pair of streaks, one on the FPO side, one on the MPO side, and we're gonna find, here's the inside scoop. If you super chatted or you chatted along with us during any given night's broadcast, your chances of winning are 100 times greater. What does that tell you? So chatting or super chatting gets you into the drawings for the streak. How about that? I'll just be blunt about it. We need that engagement. We need you guys tuning, even if you're saying how much you don't like it, which would be mean. But chat, super chat, just say hi. That makes you eligible to win some of these discs. So yeah, that's how we're doing it. Who's gonna win it? I mean, come on. All of these guys, such fierce competitors. Paul's hunting the history of getting another major, of getting to where Climo is in terms of the 18 majors. Paul, of course, has won this 3 times in the past. Kenny's won this 5 times. Will Schusterich has won this 3 times. Barella's hunting for that major victory. Wysocki hasn't won a major since, what, 17 Worlds? You know, going back to back in 16 and 17, but hasn't had that major victory. Wysocki's last chance to get an Elite Series or major, pretty much, depending on how you count the Pro Tour next week. So Wysocki trying to keep that streak running, and also just trying to pick up yet another major, which he hasn't done. Heimberg finally picked up his major in Estonia at the European Disc Golf Festival a few months ago, but where does that put you in terms of player of the year if you're looking at picking up 2 of the majors? I didn't listen to Charlie or Philo. I'm sure they had a ton of graphics and information throughout the week that they're able to give you on the Disc Golf Network. I don't have access to any of that right now. So just thinking about what does this mean, who's going to take it down, and then by all means, we cannot count out, I mean, just the lead card. Over on the FPO side of Throw Pink, our winner's coming from the lead card. In fact, our winner's coming from the top 3 players. I'm not trying to be mean to Paige Pierce, but I don't see her catching and surpassing all 3 of those women, where she's 10 or more behind them. Here on the USDGC, I mean, where do you guys draw the line? Do you draw the line at Turner, Antala, Gannon, and Joey Buckets? Where are you drawing the line? That's what you could tell me is, what do you need to be at right now? Are you the 18s? Do they still have the chance? That's 6 behind Barella. That's only 4 behind Macbeth. Do we know what Gannon can do on a final day, final round? He's always hunting. And then Joey Buckets, Andrew Marwee, do they have the firepower to not only have one of the best rounds of their life, but then they need help. The chase card needs help. They need all of these top players on the planet, not only to not play top notch, but all of them have to play like mediocre to just like kind of good. And then meanwhile, they need to have some of the best rounds ever. So they need help. And it's not like you don't have, it's not like those players aren't some of the most proven winners in our sports history. So you don't have 4 guys up top that are all kind of nervously like, oh, this is my first time with a chance to win a big event. You have 4 of the most proven guys over the last 5 years that are right there. It's going to be tough to expect all of them to falter, but that's what I'd like to know is, what do they need to shoot in terms of chase card, and then can they get help from the lead card possibly having the struggles? I don't know. It seems tough to think that your winner's not going to come off the lead card, but 1 or 2 strokes happens so quickly. Who in their right mind would have guessed you would have seen what happened to Wysocki today on 6? Like, right? Or if you would have said, hey, I think Rick's going to be like 3 or 4 over heading into the back 9, there's no one on the planet that would have taken that bet. He just shot 13 under yesterday. At no point are you like, yeah, I think by the time he hits hole 10, he's going to be over par tomorrow. Nobody would have said that. Nobody. So this is, it's going to be fun. Quick insight that I can give you from being here, going to get the studio set up from the car to bring it out here. Rode the golf cart with Macbeth, and he wasn't getting in his car to go home. He was going to the field. Interesting. Timing was off. Something was off. He was going out to the field to throw some shots in the middle of the practice field, not really worried about anything else other than going to the field. So I thought that was interesting. And then he also made the joke, which he's been saying to me for a few years. It's like, well, at least me and Rick are going to keep things interesting for everybody tomorrow. And to see Barella jump right into that opportunity, to see that we're going to have this battle, this Ricky, Paul, Barella, Heimberg, like at one point you thought yesterday, well, okay, Rick and Paul out in front, there's the storyline. And Paul, jokingly, with kind of a smirk, says, well, at least we'll keep it interesting for you in the media. So Paul's ready to embrace it. and we'll see what's going to happen when it's all said and done. But he has said that to me in the past. Sometimes that's fallen in his favor where he delivers, and sometimes he's come up short. But he's not wrong. It's going to be electric. And let's hope that doesn't mean any of the electricity in the air or lightning. But it's going to be electric out here. I'm super excited to see how it's going to shake out. I'm super excited to take a little bit of a break, maybe even a snack break of sorts. Earlier in the year, I got to do some travels and have some fun with my boy Tyler over at SOAR. Him and his brother working on good stuff. Last year, I bought beef jerky from them so that I could put in every single player pack when I was running one of the flex starts along with another event. And SOAR and the crew are constantly innovating, so it looks like it's going to be snack time. Let's see what I learned. Are you hungry like I always am? Well, it's time for some kickin' crunchy peanuts, brought to us by our friends at SOAR. This is gonna be a true live taste. We're gonna see if I actually like this. Just open the bag. Oh, here we go. They're kicking, they're crunchy, and they're peanuts. They're for me. Pick some up at SOAR today. What can I say? You keep innovating, you keep coming up with snacks, I'm here for it. And big thanks to SOAR. Not a paid ad by them. I do genuinely enjoy just dropping by. It's off camera right now. The bag that we got from GBO, some of you saw me post it on my socials a few months ago. I'm still using that brand new disc golf bag, that travel bag that they came out with a few months ago that I got at the GBO. I'm literally using it every single place I'm going, including this weekend. So I love what they're doing over there. Big shout out to Tyler and the rest of the crew in terms of hanging out. Awesome time over there. I am catching word that we might get a little insight and an update from one Sarah Nicholson. Looks like she might be able to join us in studio, so I want to give you guys that heads up. So if you want to learn more about Throw Pink, we'll have her join us for a few minutes. Let's from there, let's talk quickly about Hall of Fame, the World Disc Golf Hall of Fame. One of these days, if I say it 1,000 times, finally I'll get it right. The World Disc Golf Hall of Fame. We've mentioned who's been inducted this year. I'll say it again, certainly deserving. Yesterday, you guys saw the interview, UC Maresma. If you didn't see it, you can go check that out. Him, Brian Schweberger, out of North Carolina, one of the most, not only one of the most winning players on the planet, but just one of the greatest guys you could ever possibly hope to be around. I'm honored to say that I met Schwebby way back in the 1998 Amateur World Championships that took place in my hometown of Appleton, Wisconsin at the time. Once you've got a friend in Schwebby, like you've got a friend for life, and him and his wife just carry the most incredible vibe and aura about them anywhere you go. So if you ever get time to catch up with Schwebby, make sure you do so. Congratulations to him. Congratulations, of course, Sharon Jenkins, who we talked to on night number 1 out here when we arrived on Wednesday night when she was inducted into the Hall of Fame. Got to spend some time with Sharon Jenkins last night. Her and the rest of the party house that we were at had a really good time. Obviously then her son, Avery Jenkins, 2009 world champion, distance champion here at the USDGC King Masher contest a number of years ago. Avery Jenkins inducted into the Hall of Fame. Congrats as well. And then last but not least, Dan Doyle. Dan's working on some great stuff. I know he was talking about putting together a brewery along with a restaurant, all then intertwining that and combining it with a new course in his area. Dan, an innovator in course design, and has done so much for that New York, New England area throughout all of the decades. So congratulations to Dan Doyle as well. That's your class of 2025 in terms of the World Disc Golf Hall of Fame. And one of the guys, one of the curators, along with Andy Lehman-Young, who's been just doing so much work to make sure that the World Disc Golf Hall of Fame gains notoriety and continues to push forward in all the incredible things that they're doing. That's George Sappenfield. He's PDGA 376. I was able to catch up with him over in Vendor Village. Here's what he had to say. What an honor to meet up with George Sappenfield, PDGA 376, as we're here at the World Disc Golf Hall of Fame, and the inductees that went in this year, of course, all 5 very deserving and exciting. But big picture, what are we looking at for the Hall of Fame? What are some of the plans that you guys have been working on?
Well, we now have 114 members, which is extremely exciting. 4 different continents covered with members, but our goal is to continue to grow the game of disc golf. And you know, the sport is important, but our thing is honoring the future, honoring the past by building the future, and that's what we're after.
It has been so incredible. I've only been on the journey since the mid-90s. When was your first introduction? When were you first throwing a Frisbee around of some kind, or a disc?
Well, a disc, first time was 1959.
Okay.
And that was a Pluto platter, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but my adventure into disc golf and Frisbee play started in the 1960s. And so that's when I had come up with my idea of a hula hoop, vertical hula hoop, 2 stakes in the ground. That was the hole. And I was in college and was working as playground leader in 1965, and decided that we could do a little Frisbee golf course. And so we set up 4 holes, and then in 1969, I wrote to Whammo to see if they would donate Frisbees and hula hoops for a Frisbee golf tournament, and they hadn't really heard of that, and so they did, and that's kind of the rest is history.
So maybe my question to you would be, today we see people taking things like cornhole and then making other Frisbee games, and we see Beersby, and we see so many mix mashes of one sport with another sport to combine it, to come up with something else new and crazy. Obviously, Frisbee golf, disc golf had done just that, but does that excite you when you see innovations in other sports and other people kind of combining things we love to do?
Well, I mean, it's okay. I mean, I love creativity, but nothing can top disc golf.
No.
I mean, that's it. So, I mean, they can try all the other stuff they want, but but disc golf is where we're at.
You're tried and true to the roots of disc golf. So I got to ask maybe a crazy or a fun one. All these years, all these different discs and things that you've been throwing, all the different objects, what would be your favorite disc or Frisbee that you've thrown that resonates with you in any capacity?
Well, my very favorite disc all time was a Super Pro Frisbee.
Okay.
And yeah, so that was it. That's kind of what we started throwing and all that. And so to this day, I mean, I love the invention of all these other angles, but for pure fun, which is why I'm in disc golf, the Super Pro was my favorite disc.
Fair to say the F word's your favorite word. Fun, Frisbee, any one of those.
Exactly.
George
right.
can pick. PDGA 376, Disc World Hall of Fame. Come on, say it for me.
World
Disc Golf Hall of Fame. It's still a mouthful for me to figure out, but they're doing great work. Check them out on the website. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you again next time.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Back to you guys. Thank you so much to George for giving us all that insight, and special guest just shows up. Like, you're everywhere doing everything, and I'm talking about Sarah Nicholson, co-founder of Throw Pink and tournament director of the event. Sarah, thank you for joining.
Thank you.
How do you have a breath to be here, to be up and running with everything going on?
Well, I mean, Terry, I have a lot of respect for you. You were covering women's disc golf before it was cool to cover women's disc golf. So when you asked me if I could come up, I was like, great. So dropped some things off at the office and headed right up.
Well, thank you so much. A whirlwind of a week. But aside from competition, we kind of already talked about that. We're super excited. Huge payout. Looks like a 3-woman race, all of that good stuff. We covered that. I want to go just maybe step a little back into Throw Pink, the organization. What does it mean? You know, what should it mean, and what should people know more about Throw Pink?
Yeah, thank you. This event brings everything that Throw Pink is trying to do together in 4 days. It is my favorite time of the year. When I started Throw Pink, everyone told me, well, you got to pick one thing. You need to have a breast cancer, like a charity for breast cancer or a charity for women's sports. Like you can't, usually 501c3s pick one thing and focus on it. But I wanted to do it all. I wanted to get more women playing disc golf. I wanted to do what I could for people battling cancer. And this week pulls it all together. Like we are helping support women at the highest level of the game, helping to showcase them so we can form more fans, get them more money, get them what they deserve. And then we also run a clinic. Like a lot of the pros played this morning in the wind and the crazy weather, and then came down immediately after and did a clinic. We had over 60 women, I think it was like 58, I just hadn't did the numbers yet. They came over in the crazy conditions and young girls to learn disc golf from the top pros. And why we did that, our charity for this week is Go Gen Go. They're out of Charlotte, and they've helped a lot of our disc golf friends. They help women going through breast cancer that don't have the funds. They buy them groceries, drive them to their treatments. So everything culminated in these 4 days. And Throw Peak, actually one of our first events was a clinic at the USDGC in 2014. So I don't know, I'm pumped.
You should be. And I want to say thank you on so many levels. Like there's obviously countless women and disc golfers out there that want to support the causes and then want to embrace everything that is women's disc golf, and then somehow you continue to push that all forward. And I'm sure there's a lot of people pulling on you, and I'm sure you're also looking for ways to fully support all these different charitable causes and efforts. What is we'll say annual fundraising and or help look like? Where do you get help from? What kind of help do you need? How can we support what you're doing?
Yeah, well, my board of directors will love this next part because we need lots of help because I am kind of known for just giving it all away. If you call me and you need help with a clinic or with a fundraiser or something, for a local charity, or if it's a women's clinic, okay, great. Here's some free disc. Here's this. Here's a raffle prize. Here's all of that. So I've spent many years giving it away, so we could certainly use some funds back, but that's what we do. We send stuff to events so that they can raise money and make more money for the local charity and not have to spend it on player packs and stuff. So if we could get some donors to help us keep funding these events that can keep helping their local charities, that would be huge.
Well, and when you say donors, I know there's different ways. Throughout the years, we've seen things like people can team up with Amazon or eBay, and there's lots of different ways to go about it. What are some of the easiest ways and most common ways that people could support Throw Pink?
Well, the easiest way is just check out our website.
Write you a check.
Write me a check.
Yes,
then there's
okay.
no online fees. So that's fantastic.
Yep.
But a really cool way which brings Throw Pink to your community is to host a clinic in your community. Get more young girls playing. Pick a local charity in your community to raise money for, because then the community gets involved, because we kind of modeled Throw Pink after the Ice Bowls.
Yeah.
And, how they do an Ice Bowl in their community and they raise money for a local food bank.
Yep.
So that was an inspiration for me with Throw Pink. I was like, okay, I want to get more women playing and I want them to pick a charity in their community, so then the community wants to support more women playing. But then, maybe how we could get some money is maybe split half of the raffle with us, or maybe buy some discs for the player packs from us, or something along those lines, because I currently just give it all away. So I haven't figured out a plan to get money back to us. So yeah,
you're
glad we're having this talk.
You're a charitable cause, but sometimes you're too charitable, maybe to others.
Yeah, I'm not a business person. So.
You can't give away the farm, I think is what they say. Sometimes you need to pull some more things in. Of course, huge payout this weekend, and that's all impressive as we're supporting our top women athletes. But week in and week out, is there an easy way for someone to contribute? Could they do reoccurring contributions to Throw Pink? Is websites, all of that? Give us some of the details.
Yeah, fantastic. You can do reoccurring payments. That's easy enough. I'm actually revamping my website now, so that should be launching soon. And we're going to have a memory wall page or an honor of page, so you can support, and we can list the person on the page, because we have I have so many men supporters because they've been impacted themselves in their lives, and they have someone special to them. And after years of talking to them at events and having them come up to me, you know, and trying to hold back the tears, because I don't cry in front of people, you know, or I try not to. So I've had to hold back the tears for years, but I want to honor that and all the wonderful people that have talked to me. So that's an easy way. If someone in your life has been impacted by breast cancer or any cancer, ovarian cancer, we've kind of evolved to other cancers. I mean, we're a little pigeonholed in with the throw peak, but we do a lot of support for ovarian cancer, heart disease, all kinds of things like that. So stay tuned to our website would be a great way.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there's a lot of cancers out there. So, whatever help that you need, like you said, there's a way that you can contribute and to help out. This event has been so fun to watch from a spectator perspective and to see our top athletes here year in and year out. But then the fans. The fans are here for it, to see how they're challenged on this course, and then to have a clinic. Maybe let's dive into that just briefly as to, you had players coming out. What is that clinic like? What's the reaction to it? Some of the players maybe that you remember that were out there today, there's maybe more than you can remember.
I knew you were going to ask me, and I knew I was going to forget someone. I actually asked one of my volunteers who checked them all in today. I was like, can you send me the list? So I'm going to go in Smashbox. I don't want to miss anyone.
Sure.
I know Deanne Carey has been with me for a long time. Okay. I actually, shouldn't have a favorite, but Deanne, one of Deanne's first events was the Throw Pink Clinic. Okay. And so I always thought it'd be really cool if she could win the Throw Pink Championship, because what a storyline. I mean, as a media person, I could be like, well, she came to the clinic.
Karma,
girls,
hello.
Over.
Volunteer, look what happened.
She was my coordinator. Jennifer Allen always comes out.
Awesome.
We had Kat Merch was down there. I knew I was going to start listing people and then just freeze on the thing. I had Lane King came over, and
Kona, I'm sure,
Kona
has been
was
around.
there.
I'm
yes,
just
Kona,
going to assume.
Well, Kona has been with us for a very long time too. I mean, ever
Yes.
since Kona started playing, and she is fantastic at teaching. Leah says Jenny was down there.
Sure.
Oh my gosh, I knew I was going to forget.
Well, here. How about I'll pull up
I got
a few of our competitors.
I got a little text. Let me see.
Okay.
Because I didn't
good.
check them in. Let's see what John said. I had Zoe was over there. Of course, Zoe. I didn't miss Zoe. And she did the. Sorry, Zoe. Shout out. She did the entry for me.
Yep.
And then I had Jen, Kat, Chandler.
Lori Merriman.
Yes, Lori Merriman. Thank you, Terry. Can read faster than I can.
Yeah, no, all good. Shelly May Lai. Yeah. So lots of great. And I feel like. Don't we even maybe have some volunteers from Mexico and some other places that have come in?
Well, okay, Fernanda, I've been working on her name. I keep saying it wrong, so I started just calling her Maria. She was over there. Tita was over there.
Yes.
Andy Young was over there. I mean, Tita came and helped with the check-in. I mean, Tita's just fantastic.
Yes.
I feel like it's no need to even say that. So.
Yeah, it's awesome to see. The clinic today was great. Is there anything tomorrow, or is it just play and then everyone's hopefully going to get out of here safely? Is there anything else? What's related? How do we close up in terms of the Throw Pink exposure tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, tomorrow is just the competition part of it, and just, kind of closing out. But just, while I have you real quick, for next year, Friday is Women's Appreciation Day. Every Friday, all women and girls get in free, and we have a Macmosa cupcake party for them in the tent. And a lot of the pros came over for that, and we just kind of hang out, do arts and crafts, eat cupcakes, and just have community. So we're really trying to bring it all together with this.
I love it.
So.
Awesome. Well, thank you for all of your hard work. It does not go unnoticed because you're clearly helping organize literally thousands of people and things going on all around the country and around the world. And it's awesome to see. And I love that you and I get to catch up specifically at this event every year. And we can talk anytime during the year. But I love getting the catch up and all of the updates while we're here. So thank you. You probably have a million other things to do. So I'm going to let you go. But before we do that, I'm super happy. It's been a lot of fun being out here in doing everything that we've been doing. Sorry, 1 second. And someone else that I know has been working on promoting, getting things out there for disc golf. In fact, it's grown so big that he had to add a second weekend to it. Oh, wow. I'm talking about Benjamin Kenny and all the amazing things that he's doing over at Disc East and Disc South. That's all part of the Disc Golf Expos. I caught up with Benjamin Kenny yesterday, and he gave us some updates. Here's what he had to say. Okay, ready?
Am I looking at you?
Sure.
Okay. I don't know how this works.
If you don't want to.
Or I'll look at the camera?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
We've been rolling, so we're good.
All right.
Okay. the most experienced interviewee I've ever had.
Thank you.
Benjamin Kenny here. All right, let's get to the basics. Are you rescheduling Disc East so that it's not happening when I'm in Thailand? That's the first question.
Fortunately, no. Off season's the best time to have an expo. If I could do 2 expos in the off season, I would, but off season's so short.
So when will the new date be?
January 24th and 25th is the date right now.
But you'll maybe move that up a few weeks.
Yeah, like December 25th, probably around there.
That's good and convenient.
You'll
Yes,
be around. Probably.
I could make that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
My kids would understand. I'm
Yeah,
always gone.
exactly.
Like, oh, it's a present to us. Dad's gone.
Just a month
Again.
earlier.
Okay. In all seriousness, Disc East obviously taking place, whatever date that is. That's wrong. But it's happening. Are there spots? Can people still be vendors there? Give us the scoop.
Yeah, absolutely. We just opened up vendor applications, so if you're interested in vending at Disc East or Disc South, you can go to discgolfexpos.com, click which one you want to go to, and then just apply, send me the email, and then you're in, just like that.
Wait, did you just give us a 6-7?
6-7.
6-7.
Send me the email, 6-7.
Oh God, my kids might.
How do you know that?
Because I know things.
All right,
I
you're
know
hip,
things.
you're hip.
Yeah, I'm down 41, whatever. Anyway, so and then Disc South takes place when?
March 7th and 8th, week after Florida Open, whatever it's going to be called this year.
Okay.
Supreme Flight Open.
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah.
Rough idea of what it is in terms of both being a vendor, roughly in terms of, I think like a 10 by 10 is what I want to know. And then what is it to become, to come in and watch or, walk in, be a person, attendee. That's the word I'm looking for. So what's a vendor? What roughly is a vendor fee for those that are like, oh man, I don't know.
Fee.
Yeah, what is a vendor fee?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not good with these question things. What's like a vendor fee typically run?
Yeah, so it's $500 for a 10 by 10 booth and for the vendor, and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, so just a flat fee, and whatever you make on top of that, you get to keep. And I always tell people you're pretty much, I don't want to say guaranteed, but you'll make at least $500 at the expo. But I didn't say guaranteed. So.
What if they're just selling pictures of you? Would they make Would they make 5,000?
No, probably not. But yeah, I mean,
I want to put that to the test.
Yeah.
All right. What's it cost for an attendee to show up? Is that free? Does it cost you $20 to get into the door?
So
what is it?
It's $15 for the general admission, $50 for the VIP. You get in an hour early, get a super cool disc that has never been released ever before. Like last year, it was the Prism Proton Pixel, so that was super cool. MVP hooked that up, and kids 12 and under are free. So that's the 3 tiers.
All right, give the website one more time.
Discgolfexpos.com, discsouth.com, disceast.com.
All right, that's Benjamin Kenny. I walk so you can run. Is that no? You ran.
You ran. No.
No, I don't.
You walked so I could grow. Thank you,
yes,
Terry.
yes,
This
he's
guy.
got all the right
The
cliches.
trailblazer. Let's go.
All right, let's get back to it. Well, needless to say, he needs to move the dates due to my conflict of possibly being in Southeast Asia. But aside from that, awesome to hear what's going on, and best of luck is what I'll say. And if you get a chance, certainly try and get yourself over to either Disc East or Disc South. There is a chance, maybe, that I might be able to be involved with the Disc South in terms of the scheduling for next year. We'll see how things go. Super excited. I know we got to get through 2025 here. We've got this tomorrow. We've got next weekend in terms of the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship, and then pretty much start rolling into our off season, except for, well, when you're here on the Disc Golf Guy channel for like 10 other events I'll cover before the end of the year. But aside from that, our biggest events are coming to a close. Kind of like tonight's live show is about to come to a close. I'm going to quickly try and read through any of the questions or statements, maybe make any clarifications I can from the chat. It's been a little bit since I was able to directly answer what's on here. Earlier, we were talking about blaming Johnny V for stuff. That holds true. Doesn't matter what chat, what stream, what day of the week it is. We can always blame Johnny V for something. I can again shout out good old Dave here from the Dyers Guild, who's been tirelessly running around getting footage, but also then cutting stuff together for you guys for this week, and then pressing all these buttons. So if you want to learn anything about dyeing discs, make sure you check out the Dyers Guild. We'll have a link in the description, and you'll continue to hear me talk about him and promote what he's got going on throughout the rest of the off season and then some. Please make sure you go out and support. One of my favorite things that the Dyers Guild offers is a little stamp that you can put on the inside of your disc. So some people love to have like it slapped on the back of your disc. You write your name and information, but some people also feel like that maybe clutters it up. Well, you can get your own custom stamp that goes on the inside rim of the disc, and that can be found over on the Dyers Guild website, among a ton of other stuff, including all of the basics you need for learning how to dye. Is there a code? Do we have a code, Dave?
The Disc Golf Guy 10.
I don't know, the Disc Golf Guy 10. Try and type it in or reach out to me directly, and I'll make sure to get you a code if you want to buy anything on the website. So again, big thanks to Dave. All right, let's run down real quick as to what we have in here. Terry, are you sticking around tomorrow? I kind of answered that. I'll be here for the day and into the festivities, but then as I think I'm hearing Mace Man, but then we'll ultimately get out of here in terms of flying out tomorrow night out of Charlotte, but we'll be here for the day. How much is a nice disc golf van? All I can say is you're probably looking at the 70 to 80 grand, 50 to 80,000. I mean, you're gonna look at a decent van and then the build out. Talk to Casey White or go watch his videos, or Raven Klein's updates, or Ella Hansen's updates, Paige Pierce's videos and updates. Those will all give you some idea. And I know like Nate Perkins, if you want to just drive your van to him, he'll build out your van for you as well. Those are all some ideas. I don't get any commission on any of those, but those are a lot of the people that have been touring around in vans for the last few years. So those all might be an idea. Terry said he's going to streak when? I'll pull back the curtain a little, figuratively. I told Nate Doss, as we were kind of accepting maybe a little bit of his missed cut fate, I told him that if he aces 17, he was going to get the most loud and obnoxious and provocative ever ace celebration of all time if he were to ace 17. So I think for everyone at home watching Hole 17's broadcast, and maybe for everyone here, it was probably good that he didn't, but I was ready to go nuts and then some if he would have aced Hole 17 to close out, his USDGC experience. He said he may not even play 18. He may just walk off if he aces 17. Unfortunately for him, maybe, he didn't ace 17. So everything was kept at bay, so to speak. Again, not sure what time the music ends. It sounds like it might be happening now. I feel like that's Mace Man, who's usually one of the DJs. He might be on a mic right now as they're starting to wrap things up. Not Rick. If his body language is anywhere near the same as today, the second day he hits any adversity. Yeah, I mean, Rick, he's a very passionate player. I'll say that. And we always know what Rick seems to be feeling when he's out on the course. So he shows it. Some players hold their composure a little differently, and Rick's a guy that wears his heart on his sleeve when he's out there. Nick says, enjoying the recap. Thank you, Nick. I certainly appreciate you joining us here tonight. JT answers the question earlier, saying that he thinks Niklas is the last score that has a chance. Niklas or above is the last score that has a chance to win this. Niklas, finished runner-up a couple of years ago at this very event. It came down to the action on 17 and 18, and that was like an 18 or 19-year-old Niklas. A couple years later, we'll see if anything changes for him, but we know he's going to be making a good run tomorrow. It should be exciting to see. Ed asks if weather will be a key factor tomorrow. There's no doubt. Even if you want to say, well, it's the exact same tomorrow as it is the previous 3 days, that still means it's swirling and it's unpredictable. And that means anything can happen at any time. So it'll be a factor. The question is, does it become a factor of halting play, suspending play, ending play early? having these crazy breaks, all of that could be a possibility as well. Hopefully none of that is. I don't want to manifest any of that into happening, because quite frankly, I want to be here to the end. I want to see everyone get all the holes in. I want to see our champion crowned in a as concise possible way in terms of getting through all of the day's play. She's wearing pink. Terry's not. Tomorrow, I'll bust out the pink for you guys. I've already got my, of course, you know me. I've got my outfit all lined up for tomorrow. Ed says, since weather is a factor, should the major take precedence, I think precedence is what you're thinking, over an A tier, and should the guys play first to miss the weather? No. I'm just going to say no. I don't want, yeah, short answer is I'll just say no. I understand where you're coming from, but yeah, not with the format. In my opinion, I don't think that it should go down that way. So I'll just leave it at that, is what I think. Quickly, trying to love the show. Thanks, Charlie. That makes you also eligible to make sure that you're in. So you're a possibility that you could win something here. Doc Zen, thank you. Interview, Sarah's awesome. Yes, I don't think any dude done more for disc golf than what I've done. I appreciate the sentiment. As she said, filming it before it was cool. It always was cool. It was just a matter of they were underrepresented in terms of ultimately having coverage, and I'm glad that I was, ready to run out and grab coverage whenever I could. And sometimes that meant skipping the more coveted MPO action, but if there was somebody else already covering it, I would volunteer to go run and cover FPO. It's never been profitable for any of our teams, but it's the right thing, and that's what needs to be done. So I like to help where I can. Dire Guild Dave, DGD, yeah, I mean that could be a thing. Roommate, Snoring Dave, those could be things as well. We could call him all sorts of things, but he's been invaluable this entire week. It's been incredible, so I appreciate that. Your JVD is moving on to pickleball. I mean, he'd have a better chance at being a pro there. Bit mad at Doss for not doing better now, so am I. And Mark says, if the tournament has ended mid-round, will the winner be chosen from Saturday's results? I, off the top of my head, I don't have all the details, but generally, I think as long as so many people get through a certain amount of holes, I think that's one of the new provisions that's eligible. I hate to even put that out there because I don't have it in front of me, and I'm not going to look it up at the moment. But if everyone's played at least through 9, the entire field, then maybe they can cut to that spot. I'll say this. Here's what I will say, and I skipped over it earlier. It doesn't hurt AB to be in the lead, because if somehow this doesn't get played tomorrow, and I don't think that's going to be the case, but if we don't get through enough holes tomorrow, it could go back to today's completion, which would grant Anthony Barella the win. And Grant, I don't want to sidestep that, but that would mean AB could be your winner. So AB doesn't want that. I'd bet $1 million on it that if I asked him right now, he'd say, no, I want to play it tomorrow. I want to win this as it should be played all 4 rounds. But it's happened before. I think that was Hurricane Matthew that came through and gave, I don't want to say gave Big Germ the win, but secured the win for Big Germ after 3 rounds. It is conceivable that it could happen tomorrow, but I'm hoping that doesn't end up being the case, because then nobody wants that controversy, and then there's going to be 1 million all of a sudden brand new meteorologists tomorrow that are going to come into the chat and tell in Facebook and Reddit how they would have done it and what the weather was that they expected, and everybody's going to become an expert in PDGA rules, which they're not, and everything else. Like I want to avoid all of that. Let's have them play all 18 holes tomorrow. Let's get through it safely, and let's see who our champions are over at the Throw Pink Championship as well as the United States Championship. That's what I want. I don't always get what I want, though. Major Championship tomorrow. A tier, Throw Pink, which feels like a major on the FPO side, so we wish them all the best of luck. Right now, the Cubs were last tied at one apiece, 1-1. Cubs Brewers, go Cubbies, go Cubs, go. Fly the W, all that stuff. Let's do it for Harry Carey. Holy cow. And Ryan Sandberg, rest in peace. Let's see if the Cubs can get this thing done and we can make another push in the offseason. And if you don't like my Cubs pick, I don't care. That's what I'm here for. You're not all gonna like me. Big thanks to everybody that joined me in the interviews. Bigger thanks to Dave for sticking along. Thank you to the super chatters, as well as you regulars, the membership, the channel members, the subscribers. I love you guys. Thanks for the opportunity to share our day and our night and our weekend with you right here on the channel. Like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube things. And that's it. That is day 3's nightly recap, AKA the Drop Zone. We'll see you tomorrow on Championship Sunday.